Hey guys, it's finally Friday, which puts me at 3 days away from my 21st birthday, and I'm super happy and excited, and I promise I won't overindulge myself. The big plan is we're grabbing about 25 people, and we're going to go to this burger place called Humperdinck's. Besides that, the name is absolutely hysterical. It's got good burgers, and they give a student discount for people at my school. So that's really all the personal stuff I wanted to say. But to answer Tinley's question of what is my favorite quote, this is a very difficult question for me. In all honesty, I collect quotes like I collect random facts. So it's been hard pinning down just one. So I was going to give one that is the summation and the reason behind why I love the other quotes that I'm going to share. So the big quote, the numero uno, is Latin. It's Memento Mori. It's from a PlayStation 2 game called Persona 3. And if you guys are all old enough to play it, you should. It's rated M for a few reasons, but it's still epic. It's a good exploration of psychology and as well as being variably entertaining. And Memento Mori translates to, or roughly translates to, remember that you are mortal. And I think it's a really good thing to keep in mind. Like, a lot of people will quote, Carpe diem, seize the day. And it's like, well, you gotta see, the only reason you'd be seizing the day is if you remember that life is short. We're not here on this earth very long in comparison to how long the universe has been around. It means that I spend my life remembering that life is short and I take risks. I do things outside of my comfort zone when I can to get the experience of saying that I lived a life worth something, which comes to the point of how do you make life mean something? I think it's a big question everyone struggles with. Personally, as an existentialist, I believe that you make the choice of what your life means. Existentialism being an idea of you choose pretty much everything in your life. I don't believe in fate. It's a weird deal. I believe that fate is what happens when people give up in life. Say, someone gets stuck on a plane that's about to crash, and they go, well, it was my fate to be on this plane, so I must be fated to die, so I'm not going to do anything and just let fate take its course. That's giving up. I'm a big stickler for that. That is giving up. I don't believe in giving up. It's one of the few things about me that people really need to learn really, really quickly. I don't give up. The difference between fate and destiny then is thus. Destiny is being put on that same plane that's about to crash and saying, you know what, I choose to not die. I choose to do something at least. And if I fail, well, then I failed. I mean, that could end up in you saving everybody and from the snakes on the plane or something and just having this all happy day. But ultimately, it was the choice to decide that you didn't want it to end that way. You wanted to do something. It's very big about action. I mean, that comes from the idea that you're mortal, you will die, you are human. And I say human because there's a lot that goes with being human. There's emotions, there's feelings, there's histories, there's thought, there's actions, there's all sorts of stuff that goes and connotates being human. And I guess I'm in a really philosophical mood. Not sure why. All I've been doing recently is watching Doctor Who. Anyway, one of my other quotes, it's going to severely date me. By date me, I of course mean show my age, and as I said, I'm turning 21. I've been around a little bit longer than some of the people on the other end of the spectrum of our age group for the vlogdom. When I was growing up, we didn't have all of the stuff on Disney Channel. We didn't have Hannah Montana and all those other wonderful things. We had Boy Meets World, which is by far one of my favorite shows ever. It lasted for years and years and years, and we watched these actors go from, elementary school age to college. We saw, the last season was them in college, and one thing that stands out particularly to me, I'm going to put a link to the scene in the little video here when I edit it. It's the last scene, and there's this teacher who's been with these guys all these years. Everyone's ready about to leave and go their separate ways for the first time in, years. And they've all grown up together. It's a big moment. And they go to the teacher for the one last bit of advice. And he tells them, believe in yourself. Dream. Try. Do good. To which one of their characters responds, "Don't you mean do well?" The teacher responds, "No, I mean do good." Which sums back to Memento Mori of do good, make your life mean something. I mean, I personally do as much good as I can. I've done volunteer work. I was in off the coast of Mississippi within 10 months of the Katrina. I do my part. I do good. I see someone I don't know very well frowning, and if I try to catch their eye and just smile, because that means all the difference sometimes. And it's little things like that you can do to make, lessen the world suck. It's just one of those philosophy things, I guess. Another quote regarding the idea of choice. Sometimes you really don't have too much of a choice. Like I said, you can try and you can fail. And there's one quote that stands out to me in particular. It's from one of my other favorite video games. It's called Final Fantasy VIII. So the quote reads as thus: "You've all heard this before, how life has infinite possibilities. I don't believe that one bit. There weren't many paths for me to choose. Sometimes there would only be one. From the limited possibilities I faced, the choices I made have brought me this far. That's why I value the path I chose. I want to hold true to the path that had to be taken." And you might think this sounds a little contradictory to the idea of existentialism, but in all honesty, it's not. When you combine it with do good, you get this idea that sometimes you have no choice but to do good. If you have a choice between doing the wrong thing and the right thing, that's still a choice, but you choose to do the right thing because you can't do the wrong thing. I'm not going to get too big into history, personal history, but I kind of relate to that quote. Sometimes there was no choice. Sometimes I didn't have a choice. Even though technically I did and I could have run from things, I said, no, I'm going to stick around and I'm going to do good. Sorry that was a little depressing, but quotes mean something to me, and as a writer, I have to have things mean something, and so therefore they have a deeper connection with myself. I'm going to go back to watching Doctor Who. I'm glad you like the Pikachu slippers. They're awesome. I don't really have a question except maybe to ask, what's your big plan for Labor Day this year? Because it's Labor Day. It means no school, and no school is awesome. I like no school. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week.